Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now September 26th of 2021, and ever since the very end of The Mandalorian Season 2 and The Bad Batch, a lot of fans around the world have been very intrigued of what Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni have in store for the new Star Wars universe with projects like Ahsoka, Kenobi, Andor, and more that's really going to tie everything together in a very unique way. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, I am on Twitter at Mike01 if you guys want to go ahead and check me out on there. I do post a couple of entertaining things from time to time and communicate with you guys further. So, what's really all the more interesting about this new universe is exactly how Jon and Dave are taking a lot of Star Wars Legends content, of course, and throwing it into the new universe. So basically, a lot of the beloved highlights of Legends are going to be the main focus of Star Wars. The Thrawn trilogy, Dark Empire, a lot of those stories that have a lot to do with Luke Skywalker, Mara Jade, and just the Skywalker family as a whole, as well as the Solos. A lot of that is going to be borrowed and thrown into this new EU. And that's, I think, what a lot of fans are looking forward to when it comes to other stories out there that involve bounty hunters and more around the like. Now, with the Book of Boba Fett just around the corner, alright, we're going to get an official teaser this October with a full reveal on November 12th, which is going to be very exciting because it's really going to give you that big, picture of what Robert Rodriguez is really aiming for when it comes to this brand new Star Wars TV series for Disney+. However, okay, everything related to Jon Favreau, we already know that this guy is a hard-working man. He's got over a dozen Star Wars projects that he's working on alongside with Dave Filoni, and that really does speak volumes. It tells us that he is very dedicated to the franchise. He is very much in tune with the vision by George Lucas. However, when it all comes down to Daisy Ridley, who portrayed Rey in the Star Wars sequel trilogy, this is where things begin to get pretty interesting, to say the least. Now, with both Disney and Lucasfilm now focused on their new projects like Star Wars Ahsoka and the Book of Boba Fett, as well as Mandalorian Season 3, both Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are currently said to be heavily involved with other projects such as Kenobi, as well as that, of course, is set to drop by 2022. In the meantime, Disney CEO Bob Chapek has been hard at work on crafting the roadmap for Star Wars that will be fully revealed at Star Wars Celebration next year. However, in a recent interview with actress Daisy Ridley, where she was questioned about her experience on the set of the sequel trilogy movies, she went on to reveal more about George Lucas, the creators of all things Star Wars, where Daisy went on to state and reveal that myself and JJ had actually met up with George multiple times about what he thought about bringing back Palpatine into the story, the way that he was, and at first George Lucas actually hated this idea. At least the way Kathleen Kennedy wanted it and was pushing it for it to be done. Lucas wanted to create this younger version of Palpatine for the fans to experience that would have been a successful clone in a sense. George had told me and JJ that he did not like Palpatine appearing weak, not even for a second, at least the way it was done in the movie, and that Lucas had begged Kathleen Kennedy to not use Palpatine the way that he was used in the final cut. Kathleen Kennedy, however, refused to listen to George, where Daisy further reveals that what he wanted to do was take the story from Dark Empire and make it into a reality. And at some, of course, point, a lot of those scenes were even tested to experiment with this. However, Kathleen Kennedy cut those out as she did not trust George's take on Star Wars with Palpatine. Now, Daisy also says that Kathleen Kennedy wanted nothing to do with George Lucas's scenes that he had worked on with JJ either, and that she wanted nothing to do with them for the Blu-ray version of the movie. When I talked with George, he had so many great ideas, and that he actually was extremely upset that Kathleen had cut so many of the fight scenes that were done by myself and Adam Driver, going up against Ian McDiarmid, which was all Lucas's idea. Daisy reveals that Lucas wanted the big final lightsaber duel between good and evil. Lucas wanted to give Palpatine a lightsaber, and that this was also experimented and filmed. Now, that Kathleen Kennedy just wanted nothing to do with this and deleted it from the movie. Even John Boyega and Oscar were very impressed with the original Battle of Exegol scenes that would have been all the more significant in my eyes. Daisy also makes it clear that George felt very sad many times. I could tell it was just so apparent that he felt horrible, based on these scenes that were actually getting thrown out into nowhere, and how the fans would never see his work in the final cut by Disney. Now, additionally, separate from all of this and what Daisy Ridley had revealed, Lucas is indeed working on a 4-hour cut of the film of Episode 9, with others like John, Dave, and other creators coming on board to add in additional scenes as well as to complete some of the partially shot scenes that were deleted by Kathleen Kennedy. Now, to me, obviously, when we go ahead and dive further into what's been going on between George Lucas and Kathleen Kennedy, there is a grudge there. This is the main reason as to why George Lucas did not, and I mean did not, appear at the premiere at all for Episode 9. He was absent. He was nowhere to be seen. A lot of fans at the time were wondering why. Later on, we learned exactly why. It was because of this tension between Kathleen Kennedy and George Lucas. Now, based on what Daisy Ridley had revealed, there could have been so much more potential with Episode 9 based on what Adam Driver, Daisy, and Ian had filmed for the world of Exegol. This major fight sequence between 3 main characters, having an actual saber duel at the end of the movie. Basically, in case you guys did not know, George Lucas wanted to create this major parallel from Episode 1, where you have Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, 2 Jedi facing 1 Sith. They wanted to do something very similar with Episode 9, with Rey and Kylo being that parallel, going up against, this time, Palpatine. And there was even an idea to defeat Palpatine and throwing him into the pit on Exegol that would parallel Darth Maul falling into the deep chasm in Episode 1. So that, I think, would have been brilliant. It would have made a lot more sense. They were even planning for Daisy Ridley to have a double-bladed one at the very end of the movie, which would have made all the more sense in my book. Now, when you obviously go ahead and look further into what Daisy Ridley had said here, obviously we already know that everything related to Disney and Lucasfilm is that they always make these very safe choices when it came to the movies, right? They chose very safe choices that really did not work well with the fans, and that was pretty much apparent, right? A lot of fans wanted to see more of that vision by George Lucas, more of the raw material taken from either Star Wars Legends or some of the prequel trilogy movies and throw it into Episode 9. And they experimented with that, they did. But they cut a lot of that out, and they refused to actually show it on the Blu-ray version of the film, which was, rather upsetting to a lot of fans out there. So I think that obviously Daisy's becoming more and more, talkative now, given that she's no longer involved with the major films. She's still said to be involved with one TV show, appearing as a major cameo as Rey in this post-Episode 9 era. We're going to be learning more about that series by, of course, 2022 at Celebration, so keep your eyes open for that. Obviously, the roadmap of the franchise is going to be extensive. Bob Chapek is going to make sure that next year this roadmap will be fully revealed, giving us more detailed release dates of specific projects, other Star Wars films that are going to be announced as well as new lore. We're talking about books, novels, comics, and all of that a lot of fans enjoy. So, like I say, guys, I think that a lot of fans are just still on edge on whether or not Disney's going to bring things in the right direction. Obviously, I think that they will, given that John and Dave have these big-time promotions over at Lucasfilm. I think they're going to nail it. So the Book of Boba Fett will be the great trial run, in my opinion, showing us what a non-stop action type of TV show is going to be like. So with that being said, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Night to